Join us October 16th through the 19th in Geneva for our Bossy Build and Balance Retreat.
We are filling each day with seminars and activities to promote self and business health,
allowing time to rejuvenate and build your business.
Go to bossyrock.com to sign up for our email list and stay up to date on offerings and opportunities.
Follow us at Bossy Rock. Be bold, be bossy.
See you in Geneva.
The Union Tavern is a beautifully restored building with a rich history and views of Lake Ontario. Featuring New England favorites and hearty comfort food, everyone will have a favorite dish. From large groups to intimate dinners, there's plenty of space to celebrate special occasions. Come visit us at 4565 Culver Road, right across from the Jackrabbit.
Jazzcast Pros.
Hey ladies, do you own your own business or are you considering starting your own?
Are you craving connection and are ready to feel seen? It's time to get real about what it takes to make it as a woman business owner.
My name is Kelly Bush.
And I'm Kelly Metris.
And we're the hosts of Getting Real with Bossy, the podcast that unites and educates women business owners through real, raw, and honest conversations.
So in today's episode, we're talking with Rosa Marie, and they're going to share how they've grown their business through their passions and their needs, and how Rosa maintains a fluid business plan to meet the needs of her clients. It's kind of amazing.
It is so amazing, and we always talk about keeping your business plan fluid, that you should always be looking at it and tweaking it, and she runs with it. Yeah, she takes it to the next level, and there's so much to learn from her story.
Rosa is a professional problem solver, and she gets shit done. Hello, bossies.
Welcome back.
How are you today?
But really, how are you?
How are you, Kelly?
I'm tired. You know, I gotta say, when I was driving home after our interview with Rosa last night, I was thinking it was so hard to even get to that meeting. And I know you had a really stressful day too. And once we got there, I had all the energy in the world. And we talked with Rosa for over an hour. And I felt like I could do anything. I was super engaged. I was listening. I had nothing else going through my brain other than just sitting and listening to Rosa's story. And then she left, and the two of us were sitting there, and I'm sure I looked exhausted. You looked exhausted. We could barely keep our heads up. And I think that's one of the things that I love so much about what we do, is that when we're in these moments with these incredible women, I have all the energy. I feel great. My cup is full. My soul, everything's ready to go. And you say this a lot, Kelly, about when we have bossy meetings, right?
Yeah, it's rejuvenating. I drag myself because I'm so busy and so overwhelmed, and it is another thing to do. And then being in that space and talking to people who truly get it, no matter what their business are, it's rejuvenating. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So I am really looking forward to the day when my first response to "how are you doing" isn't "I'm so tired." And I think that day will come. But one thing I would like to let you know is one of the best stimulants I can think of is just surround yourself with these truly exceptional people. Listen to their stories. It really is one of the best things to keep me going.
Agreed. Enjoy her story.
We are here with Rosa Marie. Rosa, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I am Rosa Marie. I am the president of Marvelous Mind Academy and a mom of two amazing, bright, bouncy boys.
Bright, bouncy boys.
Mm-hmm.
The sweetest.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that way every day?
No, they bright and bouncy.
They're bright and bouncy
every day.
Do you feel presidential every day?
No. Nah, I mean, unless you know, from a servant leader perspective, I suppose I do, right? So I have this thing in my mind that if scrubbing toilets is beneath you, then leadership is beneath you. Like you're not ready for that role. But yeah, I do. I spend a lot of time scrubbing toilets and toys and doing tasks that others would really rather not do. Mm-hmm. And that feels presidential to me because I'm a leader. So,
you are. What is Marvelous Minds Academy?
So Marvelous Mind Academy is an educational cooperative for exploratory learning. We empower child play specialists to create engaging experiences for young learners. We currently operate several programs, Bridge Care being the one that's in Village Gate. That's a drop-in daycare that allows parents to schedule care when they need it, day or night. We're open until 9 p.m. on the weekends. We also offer pop-up daycare for organizations who want to get more parent voices to the table. We will come on site and bring our materials, and so the children are enjoying and engaged while the parents are sharing their experiences or learning. We also just opened a co-work space in Village Gate because a lot of the families that we serve are driving 30 minutes to get to us, and they're losing a lot of productivity time. So we heard that, we listened to it, and then now we're creating a solution for it. So that is what we do at Marvelous Mind Academy. We make shit happen. Mm-hmm. That's what we do. And we make shit happen for parents.
And that is why we have cocktails. So cheers to opening.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're very excited. And I don't know, is there another place that offers childcare and co-work?
Not that I have experienced, not in this neck of the woods, not in Rochester that I'm aware of, that offers childcare and co-working.
Well, I speak very highly of your services as a business owner and as a mom, because I've used you in both aspects.
Thank
and I'm
you.
eyeing your coworker spot as my office at work keeps getting smaller and smaller.
Well, come on over. We'd love to have you guys.
And there's no reason it shouldn't be accessible.
Exactly.
I mean, think about so as a foster parent, I mean, how many crises happen because families aren't supported or can't get away or can't deal with whatever it is they're dealing with because they have no help.
Right.
And what a couple of hours, I mean, going to the YMCA and dropping your kid off at Child, I'm telling you, like, I would be like dragging them in, like, and they'd be crying, and I'd be like, no, this is mommy time. I get 1 hour. Yes. I had one kid, they gave me 15 minutes. She would cry the whole time, and they'd be like, we'll give you 15 minutes. If she doesn't stop crying, we'll come get you. And that was the deal. And I would go and run because it was the only time I had to get my stress out. And they would give me 15 minutes, and they would let her cry for 15 minutes, and they would come get me. And I knew she was safe, and she was going to cry regardless. So I couldn't get away and take that time because she was always needing something. And so I just had that 15 minutes to just run. And if I didn't have it, what would I have done?
Right.
You know, so it's like, why isn't there a space in every neighborhood that you can take your kid, even if it's for just a few hours? Yeah. Go to the freaking grocery store. If we didn't have to grocery shop with our children, our mind frames would be so much better.
Mm-hmm. And your budget would be too.
Right. Right.
I want the car. So it's a hush reward. It's a hush reward, right? So you put the $10 car in your cart and you buy it. And then the next thing you know, they done lost it, broke it, tore it up. You could have took that same $10 and ripped it up, burnt it, had a bonfire.
You're like, just shush. Whatever it takes to get through this errand that we have to run. You know, like I wouldn't take you unless I had to.
Yeah.
So Rosa, tell us your origin story. Why Marvelous Minds?
So Marvelous Mind Academy started out of my desire to be a present parent. I was 6 weeks into being a mom, and it just felt really weird to have to turn my baby over to literally a stranger. Like, what? I just carried this child. First of all, I desired this child, carried this child, birthed this child, and I only get 6 full weeks with you? That's it? And I turn you over to the world and let somebody else pour in their values, oh my gosh, it just was really scary for me. And I just really, 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 really wanted to be a present parent. Growing up, my mom, amazing mother, and she does not like when I say she's a single mom. She goes, yes, by choice, but I was not alone. I didn't raise you guys alone. I was single, but she did an amazing job. She made it look so easy. But I don't remember playing with my mom. Like, I just remember her being the taxi driver. She made sure I got to my recitals or anything that I was doing school related or extracurricular. Like she was on point. Me, my brothers, all of us. But I was like, gosh, I just don't remember playing with mom, And I just didn't. I wanted to create memories of play with my children. And so I just started to look at different options of like, how can I do this? And then I, of course, had the greatest example in the world in my grandmother, who did childcare for 30 plus years. And I was like, we're going to do that. And so I started a mobile preschool program. Nope. I started a mobile summer camp program where I was literally picking kids up from anywhere in Monroe County. Didn't matter, long as it was Monroe County. I picked them up.
Now give me a time frame. What year are we
that
in?
was, thank you, 2014.
2014. Got it.
That is, and I picked them up from anywhere in Monroe County, and we would go to a different adventure every day. This is so crazy to me. We used to go to Strong Museum, the Science Center, the Art Gallery, Seneca Park Zoo, and that fact that in 2020 we landed in Village Gate, like literally in the center of all of the places we used to go. It's just like, wow to me when things come full circle. So it's pretty amazing. But that's how we got our start. I threw up a Groupon and parents ate it up. And I was so...
Did you really? You just threw a Groupon up?
I just threw a Groupon up.
You're like, I'm going to do this right now just with a Groupon.
Yes. And I threw a Groupon up and I started getting phone calls and I was shocked. Like parents weren't running backgrounds and they were like, who are you and where did your program come from? They're like,
not only are they dropping their child off to you, you're then taking them places.
Yeah,
and
no, they didn't even drop their kids off to me.
Right.
I picked them up. Okay. And in this
we're so different in 2014.
Right? Like I
don't know. I feel like in 2020 people would have been like, come get my kids. Come get them.
And it's so 2014. I mean, I pulled up and I was so nervous. I was like, okay, it's one thing to like have the phone voice and the posture and you have your website and it's up and it's beautiful. I was like, but as soon as I pull up in this really creepy black van, they're all gonna like grab their kids and like, never mind, we're okay. But they didn't. They're like, okay, go have fun. And that's how we ran it that way for the first 2 years.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and we've been running ever since.
Do you ever think about going back to a model like that or having a model like that as part of your current model?
Not at the moment. So I'm so drenched in like what's happening today, like right now, that it's really, really hard to see us going back to that 10 years from now.
So you said that's what you were doing 2014 and that's how you got to here. Mm-hmm. I think you missed a couple of steps because I do know you and I know there's a little bit more. It wasn't so seamless, like you were just picking up children and now you have this amazing space.
Well, she floated in the unicorn carriage and it landed her
into Village Gate.
Yes, exactly.
So maybe if you could just go back a couple of years.
Okay. So 2014, we started the mobile summer camp program. In between the summers, because that was only during the summer, I nannied privately. Then from nannying privately, I started a preschool program, a mobile preschool program where parents were dropping their kids off to libraries, preschoolers, and we would stay there and they would learn and then they would come back and pick them up. So we did that for a while. So this is where the world really got a glimpse of Rosa. It was at the toy library. There was this amazing librarian there by the name of Sarah Fitz Romig. And I took a wrong turn going to this library. And when I took this wrong turn, I saw this vacant building on Gorham Street. And it just was like, oh my God, a building. What if we had our own building? That would be amazing. All the minds we could reach and all the things we could teach. Like, oh, it would be so great. I got curious and I was like, well, I wonder what the city's going to do with this vacant building on Gorham Street. And then, self-doubt kicks in. You're doing the bantering back and forth. And it's like, girl, if the city gave you this building for $1, you wouldn't have a dime to rehab it. So what is you even, And I'm like, no, don't cut yourself short, I said, but if anybody would know, a librarian would know, right? And if the librarian doesn't know, then the librarian will know where to find the answer. I don't know why I hesitated the way that I hesitated, but the question didn't come out when I went to the library. I did my teaching for the day, and I got ready to leave. And Miss Sarah was helping me put some learning material in my car, and this voice was like, "Ask her." And I'm like, "Nah, forget it. Nah, I'm not gonna ask her." This little, what? Ask her. I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna." If you don't ask her, and I'm like, "Oh, Miss Sarah, do you know what the city's gonna do with that vacant building on Gorham Street?" And she was like, "Why?" I was like, "Well, I was just curious. Do you want a building? Because if you want one, I have one." I mean,
oh my gosh.
that matter of fact.
Uh-huh.
I was like, "What you mean? No, yeah, sure, let's talk."
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about it, and I got an opportunity to share my vision for children. And she was just like, "Do you know that I've been wanting this? And I've been observing you and watching you, and I would love to help you." Unbeknownst to me, she went home, talked about it over dinner about this crazy lady she met, and her son at the time was working for the city of Rochester. They were working on this big project for participatory budgeting, brand new, just brought it to the city. But one of the things that they were missing from the ballot was childcare. The city had said, "We need non-traditional childcare," but they couldn't find a single person or entity to go on the ballot. And so that opened the door for us to go on the ballot. And that's how we got our first round of seed money. We were awarded in 2020 $50,000 from that process.
Woo! All from asking the librarian while loading your trunk.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing about life that I love more than anything else is there's so many stories that come from like these little tiny minutes where
These moments, these glimpses.
Yeah.
your brain could have won and you could have not asked.
Yep.
And then where would Marvelous Minds be?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right? You took a different turn that day and didn't think, oh, what about a building?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. And I'm glad you asked me to slow down, because at the time I was still working for Wegmans. And I remember going out and campaigning and letting people know that Marvelous Mind Academy is on this budget and on the ballot and everything, and letting them know what we do and the vision, doing the whole thing. And I remember it was the night of the announcement. They were getting ready to announce who won, and I was scheduled to work.
Oh.
And I was like, what if you win and you're not there?
Right?
That's not gonna look good.
And can
at
they
all.
take the money back if you're not there?
I don't know, right? But just like reputation precedes you, and it's
Right.
like, well, you awarded somebody who can't even take the time out to show up.
Right. It's not like $50,000 is chump
Right.
change.
Right.
And at the time, I was only working part-time, and I was like, girl, you gonna go to work today and you gonna make $50.
Right.
Or you could go and maybe walk away with $50K. I took the maybe.
Yeah.
Good.
I took the maybe.
And you got the money.
And we did. And we did.
Hi, my name is Corinne. I co-own STEM Rochester. What bossy means to me, I feel like I can ask any question without feeling judged or feeling like my question is stupid, and no mansplaining.
Don't do this. So when I wanted to start my business, I noticed that there was friction between my goals and my current living situation, and I decided to get a divorce. I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow my dreams, come hell or high water, we're doing this. Well, I didn't get a divorce. What happened was I quit my job. I didn't tell my significant other that I quit my job.
Ooh.
And 2 weeks after I quit, when I realized I wasn't gonna get a paycheck, I was like, oh, honey, by the way, I'm not getting a paycheck because I quit 2 weeks ago. That was terrible. You don't do that.
Don't do
okay? You don't do that. That was terrible. I'm happy to say that we are remarried. It's okay.
So you did get divorced. You just quit your job at that point.
Yeah, I quit my job. Some other things transpired. Then we divorced. We were divorced for 4 years. And then after, like literally right before the world knew who Marvelous Mind Academy was, I say the world, but Rochester knew who Marvelous Mind Academy was, we got remarried. And what led to that, honestly, in my mind, was I don't want new love. I don't want somebody who saw me on a billboard or in a magazine saying like, "Oh, she's cute and I love you." She's da da da. I wanted somebody that knew me before, And so that's where it was. And so now that's where we are now. So that's the faith walk right there. That's the I don't know. I can't see the future. I don't have a crystal ball that says this is gonna work out. I just hope that this is gonna work out, and thank God it did.
So what is your favorite part, not of Marvelous Minds,
Okay.
but of being a business owner?
Time freedom. It's worth more than gold.
Do you feel like you have time and freedom?
I do. Just because, not at first, obviously. So in the beginning of this, you asked me what started Marvelous Minds. I said my desire to be a present parent. On this journey, there was a period in time where my children, despite them being the reason I started to feel like they were in the way. You're in the way of me achieving my goals. You're in the way. Like if, I feel terrible when I say that out loud.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So we are at this point, we're past that. And I had to come to a point where I said, well, if that's really how you feel, then you need to change something in your life. Because they're not in the way.
They're why.
They're the why. So I started to tweak our hours. And even though we had staff, I still put in practices that if all the staff were to go away, I could still operate and run the way that I need to and still be there for my children. So we close every day from 1 to 3 for cleaning, but my children get out of school at 2:00 and they go to a school that does not provide busing. So I need to be available to pick them up. So we do that. Bedtime routines, I love bedtime routines just because at 9:00, Mean Mommy comes out, and I just really need to make sure that they don't get to see Mean Mommy. Like, go to bed at 9. So we try our best. We try to start bedtime between 6:30 and 7:30, so they're in bed by 8:30, so I can have me time after 9. So we adjusted our hours accordingly for that. When we have personal things come up, my child needs to go to a doctor's appointment, they have something going on at the school, it's very easy for me to close a block of care off. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I worked anywhere else. Mm-hmm. It would be the constant guilt trip of like, but we really needed you today, and there was this thing going on, and and it was like, but my children need me too. And that's my biggest goal in life, is to be a present parent. So yeah, I do feel like I have time freedom.
I think we talk about this a lot, Kelly and I, about working in your business and working on your business, because there's times where it's great to save payroll and it's good to be behind the bar serving tables or doing things, but that's not getting us the most money. What's best for us is to pull back and work on our business, but it's a very difficult thing to do.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely in that season of working in my business. Man, I took this course with Denny DeLeo, Venture Jobs Foundation, and the greatest thing I walked away with from that was the difference between working on your business versus in your business. And at the time that I took that, I think it was 2018, 19 maybe, I had no idea what the difference was. And now that I'm in this season of working in my business, like that mental thing is like, Rose, this is not where you need to be. This is not where you need to be. But I'm like, I'm enjoying it. Right. Because it comes natural to me. Mm-hmm. You know, caring for children comes natural to me. I love it. I like the light bulb moments. I can talk to parents and love talking to parents about their experiences. And I freaking love it. I struggled to train people on how to do what I do.
Mm-hmm. And do it the same way.
And do it the same way, right? To build that process and that culture and that I struggled. so much so that now I'm in the season of working in my business again. And I'm like, you got to figure out a better way. You got to figure out a better way.
I would say the hardest thing is delegation.
Yeah, for me, I'm definitely putting out into the ethos, into the universe, that I desire to learn how to transition this business that I've started, because the first thing was, how do you start a business, right? Well, I've started the business. The business is operational. How do I turn this business from a business into a company? How do I do that? Because that's where I am right now.
Yeah, and that allows you the structure to be able to pull back. You know, and that's why we all do what we do, is because we're really good at working in our businesses, which is why we've built them and created them and molded them.
Yeah, you don't start a business because it's something you're like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You don't change your entire life and your entire future, your entire retirement, all of those securities,
Possibly
because
your
something
marriage.
Yeah.
Because you're like, maybe
this thing, kind of good at it, I kind of like it, I could take it or leave it. No, you do your passion.
Yeah.
But
But once you get to that point where you're like, how do I figure out how to move beyond being the minimum wage worker or the middle management worker, because that allows you the freedom to be like, okay, this is how I fix these. So now you're in your business, you know the issues, right? Like, you know the things that need to get fixed, you know how things need to get done, but you can't fix them or get them done if you're working those hourly jobs. You need to have someone else doing that. And that's like the hardest thing, is like delegating and being like, I trust you to get this job done in a correct way, though it's going to be different than how I do it.
But
and that's like, I pull my hair out.
But there are moments where you find that person who may not be doing it the way you do it, but they do something different that's unique, and that's something that's creative and that can change a lot.
And just seeing the outcome, like, okay, well, that person did do it. I hands-offed it, and I was pulling my hair out, but they did it, and it was done well.
Right, and the outcome may still be the same.
Do you know what I don't know if this is the right terminology for this, but how the thing or the person you're looking for is right under your nose. And oftentimes you're overlooking them, right? That just came to light, I would say, a couple months ago. We have this staff member, her name is Miss Ari, and she is phenomenal. Every child loves her. The parents love her. She came to us in the summer of 2020 through the Summer of Opportunity program as an intern. I brought her on as an employee like almost immediately after. Just because she had this natural ability to connect with children. And when I say she engaged with kids, when the children are there and they say, we want to have a tea party and we want you to be the teapot, she goes, okay, I'm the teapot and you tip me over, okay? And I'm looking at her and I'm like, oh my gosh, she gets it, right? I don't have to explain it to her. She just really puts herself in that moment with the children. Every time she hits the door, she does this. And she's been doing it consistently for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And she wasn't the only intern we got that summer. We had several others. Then the next summer we had several more. I mean, we worked with AmeriCorps. We had some direct hires. And of all of them, she is freaking awesome. Okay. But, there I am trying to build staff. Like, okay, well, when Miss Ari can't be here, when I can't be here, we need other people in place because parents always need childcare. We can't, oh, my child's sick, your child's sick, you're sick. Like, we can't be here. So we have to beef up the staff. So I'm doing the things, all the things, the interviews, putting it out there that we're hiring, the training, all of it. I'm doing all the things. Well, I can say now Miss Ari has gone from, this is how it transitioned. She's transitioning. She was an intern, she was an employee, and now she's building her own childcare brand.
Really?
Yes, where she's starting to accept private clients. Okay.
Oh.
And this came about because one of our parents, we have very limited hours at Marvelous Mind Academy. We do not offer full-time care. We are strictly non-traditional, definitely not typical at all. And so a lot of parents that we serve, they love the environment, but they just wish they could get more time, because we can only do 3 hours at a time. So we had one family said to me, says, hey, I would really like to talk to Miss Ari if you're comfortable about some private care time. And of course my heart was like, what you trying to poach? You poaching her? You taking my best person? No, but I had to really take a step back and say, first of all, that is the highest compliment any parent can give your organization, that you have someone in-house that they want to bring to their house, right? I said, hey, that's the highest compliment. Thank you so much. B, let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. This is a young woman. She just graduated from high school and her whole life is ahead of her. One of the things that how I got into this big circle of job after job after job was I didn't think that babysitting was a real career. Like, you can't make a career out of this. You got to go to college. You got to get a degree. You got to do something, real with your life. But it's come full circle for me, and I know that this is a very real job.
Right.
It's a very real job.
Always need help with their kids.
And if I can support others in acknowledging that this is a very real job, that you can earn a real living from, let's show you how to do that.
Right.
And so instead of me squashing this opportunity and saying, no, you can't poach my best employee, what are you thinking? No, let's transition her. And so it turns out, as I'm talking to her about branding and her marketing, and you got to create your flyer so parents know what your hours are and what you can do and all these benefits versus features and all that. She's like, oh, I took a course in high school about that. Da, da, da. Well, I've been scrambling and driving my brain crazy with marketing and how do I do this? And you mean you took a class? And I had no idea.
She knew.
It's just, and I don't even know if, when, or how this would have ever come about if that parent had never asked. So the idea of having this gem literally under my nose for 3 years is mind-boggling to me. And I love our story. I love our relationship.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, me too. So stay tuned.
I can't wait. Part 2.
Hey y'all, I'm Erica Sorbello and I'm the owner as well as the stylist at Gallery Salon, located at 4 Elton Street in the neighborhood of the Arts in Rochester, New York. We specialize in everything from lived-in hair color to vivid creations, haircuts, wedding hair and makeup, structured manicures, gel extensions, and the best nail art in the city. We work closely with Rochester artists and makers to carry an array of handmade goodies for you to shop from. Gallery Salon is proud to offer gender-neutral pricing, and we are a certified LGBTQ+ safe zone. Our space and staff are welcoming and down to earth. We know you'll be comfortable to come as you are and celebrate your individuality at Gallery Salon. You can find us at galleryhair.com and Facebook or Instagram. Give us a call at 585-271-8340, or better yet, swing by and meet us and see what we're about. Gallery Salon, located at 4 Elton Street in the neighborhood of the Arts in Rochester, New York.
Dominique Alexandria, Carabago Designs.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
I am an overall creative, from tangible art to 2D and mixed media works, branding, and creative clarity for my clients.
Excellent. What do you like about Bossy?
I love that people are truly authentic about what they're dealing with and how they are resilient to making things happen.
Excellent. How do you feel when you leave a Bossy meeting?
I feel stronger and more confident and able.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So I remember the day I met you.
Mm-hmm.
You walked into a Bossy meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I think she came
Was
with
it
Kim
at
Marshall
Street?
Yeah. And you said what you did, and I think I jumped up and attacked you. Because I'm a super geek for anybody that thinks outside of the box, right? So whether you run a restaurant and it's like, okay, well, everybody runs a restaurant, but you're doing this differently, or you have a salon, you're doing this different. Like anybody that looks at, like, that's what I love in the entrepreneurial spirit, right? Is not like, you don't have to like create a new gadget. Because I feel like that's what we think about when we think entrepreneurs, but it's just creating something, right? And I geek out about how people's brains work. And then I saw you and you were like, moms need, or dad's families need alternative childcare. And I have, so many employees that can't have childcare and they rely on friends, and then their friends want to go out and like, oh, I don't have a babysitter anymore, and I was like, what? You do what? And I was like, I love you and I need to know more. And I'm pretty sure I attacked you.
Yeah. I remember that.
And then we never let you go.
We never let you go.
And I'm happy about that too.
I'm so happy to see where you are, because you were, I think at the time, still traveling.
Yeah, we were still doing pop-up
You were
daycare.
libraries.
We were still at the libraries. Yeah. At that particular time, that's where we were. Yeah, and it was Kim from Green Innovations that introduced me to Bossy. She's like, we were in the venture jobs class together, and she just kept saying, every class, she was like, so have you reached out to Bossy yet? Well, there's this event tonight. You want to come? And I'm like, we weren't at the last event. Are you going to come to this one? And I was like, all right, I'm going to go see what it is. And yeah, so I'm really happy about that.
So can you just tell me a little bit about what you're doing now and how that transition happened with the co-work space?
Oh, that co-work space is called B4, the letter B, the number 4, very minimalistic name, because that's the energy that we want to inspire there, is that it's very distraction free. It came about, again, because of the parents who drive so far, and they're losing a lot of productivity time in their travel time. So, well, let's just bring it closer. That space, I actually didn't tell a single soul that I was doing it. I walked in one day. Oh my God, I hope this is okay for me to say. Oh my God.
It's fine.
I'm an opportunist, okay? And I don't need to know what the end of the road looks like. I just need to know that there's an opportunity. And if there's an opportunity that makes sense, that aligns, I'm gonna seize it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I walked into the coffee shop. So it was in December-ish of 2021. And the coffee shop, the owner there was like, hey, signs up, we're closing. We're just not, the anchor businesses aren't coming back. They're not buying enough coffee. It's just not working. We're closing. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Sorry, can I have your
And
space?
I think your wall lines up with mine.
Exactly. And I was like,
I love you and I love your coffee, but which wall is this?
Can we not get it real quick? Let me see if I can hear. I immediately get on the phone with the office upstairs. So I hear D104 is leaving and I would like to annex that space. Sure. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Done deal. It sat for 6 months. Literally the only reason I wanted that space was for the bathroom. And when we ascertained that there is no direct route.
So you should have knocked on the wall.
Yeah.
We did. We did knock on the wall, and you can't hear. So if anybody has ever been in Village Gate or rented from Village Gate, it's a jigsaw puzzle behind those walls. Like what you would think would be direct, it's not direct.
Well, they've formatted them so many different times.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And so our wall actually, in fact, we could not confirm that that's our wall. But that's okay. That's okay. My name's Rosa. I will figure this out. I come from a long lineage of women who figure it out. So I said, we got the space. We're going to figure out how to generate some revenue from here. And I always start in my business with what my need is. The training, the staff, all of it, I sort of felt uncomfortable working from the daycare because it's like if I'm in the space, I feel like I need to be engaged with the kids. Like I just blah, blah. So then I started, it's like, oh, well, Rose, you need an office. But creating an office for me doesn't generate revenue.
Right.
It's an expense.
Right.
But if you need an office, how many other parents need an office? And then when the parents of Marvelous Minds started to say, hey, like we're losing an hour of productivity time and travel time. Like, I was like, yeah, great. We're going to create it. So I think, does that answer your question?
Yeah,
how did
absolutely.
we transition from there to there? That's how we transitioned from, hey, we do bridge care over here to, hey, now it's a co-work space that offers free Wi-Fi, free coffee. Oh, by the way, there's also childcare on site.
Right.
So that's how we transitioned from that to that. It made sense, especially with now the number of remote workers, the number of parents that are working from home. And my husband's one of them. And so he is literally my other half. And I'm like, so I got a busy day today at the daycare. Can the kids stay home? And like, he's working from his office and they're like on tablets or whatever they're doing. But at the same time, he has big projects or training that he needs to do that the kids just can't be home for.
Right.
And so like one day we were having our bathroom redone and he's like, I can't work here because of the construction. I'm supposed to have the kids today. I'm going to use a co-work space. And so he used a co-work space and the kids were at Marvelous Minds. It's great. We make shit happen. Mm-hmm. That's what we do. And we make shit happen for parents. Like, it's just natural. I will not forget how many times I went to like a networking event and I have no problem naming them. I don't know. I'd be like, I don't know how much I should say or how much I shouldn't say.
Well, I think you should be getting paid for all the name drops you've already done so far.
But
so if all of you that heard your name in this podcast want to Venmo Rosa Marie at Marvelous Minds Academy.
So I went to Bristol. I went to, where did we go? I want to say it was the Hyatt or Hilton or something like that. We went to Wegmans. When I was working for Wegmans, I kept trying to tell them like, yo, I'm a mom and I know I'm not the only mom you've hired. Right. There's this, you guys own this property over here. Let's build a daycare. Nothing, crickets, right? Bristol Resort, like, hey, when people come, when people have weddings, when people book events, they need childcare. Like, oh my gosh, you know how many people don't go to events because I don't have childcare? Like, come on, you guys can generate revenue, blah, blah, blah. I went to a couple co-working spaces. I'm an entrepreneur. Hey, I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm a mother. Do you guys offer childcare? Right? I got my membership at the YMCA. Never worked out a day that I was there.
Oh, the number one reason I joined the YMCA.
Child watch.
I kept it, was my child watch.
Yes. Like, are you kidding me?
That was my alone time.
I could put my kids over here.
2 hours.
Yes, I could go shower.
See, now the YMCA can pay you too.
Yeah, without the phantom crying that you hear when you're at home with kids. Like like I'm in the shower, I hear crying.
Did someone scream?
Yes, exactly.
Did somebody spill something?
Right. But all these places just like, no, liability this, liability that. And I was talking to a friend just recently, and he said, you just sit and solve problems all day, don't you? Mm-hmm. And I said, yes. Thank you. That is my official title. Mm-hmm. I'm a professional problem solver.
Get that on a shirt.
That's our next bossy shirt.
Professional.
We are professional problem solvers. Like, it's so true.
That's what I do. I literally, is there a problem? What's the problem? What's everybody talking about? Okay, well, I'm sure there's a solution. And so there's always
a solution.
There always. And so the thing that I tell everybody is that I'm a solution-based thinker first. Like, I can hear the problem, let's analyze the problem, but I am not going to sit here and commiserate about the problem.
Right.
What's the solution? What have you already tried? And what are we willing to try? What do we need more resources to try?
And who have we asked? Have you asked the people that are facing the problem?
Right. So, yeah, definitely. Solution-based thinker.
So if people are looking to reach out and use your co-work space, what are you offering? Is it a monthly fee? Is it drop-in?
It's monthly.
Okay.
So it's $95 a month. But you can build your package and customize it. There's no commitment. You can have it this month and not have it that month.
Is there like an hourly max or minimum for the $95?
Nope.
And then the childcare is additional?
The childcare is additional.
Nice.
And that just depends on what your needs are.
And how do they find you?
MarvelousMinds.com.
Well, that's easy enough.
Yeah, it would be so dope.
Or Mom Nation, and we can just go in and be like, I'm here for an hour.
Okay, why the co-work is set up the way it's set up. When you walk into Marvelous Minds, The music we play is spa radio.
Mm-hmm.
You come in and there's these big comfy blue couches in the lounge. Parents walk in, they hit the door, and I cannot tell you how many times they have sat there on that couch and just sat there.
I think I've done it.
Do
I think I sit down every time I walk in the door.
you have a space like this for adults? You sure I need to leave my kid? My kid can't go somewhere else.
Right.
I can
I
stay
stay
here.
here. Those couches are comfy.
Yeah, and the reason why we play spa radio is because all children come in with their own energy and their own experiences, and it's just a way for me as a provider and other providers to just stay calm and remember calm. But it works for the children too. We only allow 8 children in our center at a time. And with those ratios, we've found that we get a lot of neurodivergent children registered and enrolled at Marvelous Mind Academy. And I remember specifically one time trying to play Kid Bop Kids or something like that was really high energy. I mean, you should have seen the behaviors in that place. It was off the wall. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, let's go back to spa radio.
Spa radio it is.
It works. And so the co-work space, this idea of having a space where parents can relax and rejuvenate, but also get shit done. Again, it started because of what I need. I don't like going places where people give more into the distraction versus the work that they're supposed to be doing. It really bothers me. So I wanted to create a place where if you want to just sit there in silence, you can sit there in silence. Or if you want to sit there and get shit done, you also can come here and get shit done.
I love it.
And your kids are not an earshot of you.
Yeah.
They can't see you, they can't hear you, and you can't hear them.
So it's kind of good that it wasn't directly attached to your property.
Yes. It's really good. You're in the same building, but you wouldn't even know you both were there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Look at you, making it happen. Problem solving, getting shit done.
Can I ask you a long-term question?
Yeah.
So you started Marvelous Minds to be a present parent.
Mm-hmm.
You appreciate what it's allowed you to do as a parent and as a person. So you've built this amazing business, which has nothing to do with parenting for you. You built this amazing business. And in addition to that, it allowed you to be a present parent. And now you have the freedoms and the time, right, that are the bonus to putting up with all the other stuff that come along with business ownership. So fast forward, your youngest is 4?
He will be 5 in October.
Okay. So fast forward 13 years. I mean, not even 13 years. Kids are in school full time. They have sports after school. They have girlfriends. They have jobs. We'll go 10 years. I know, right? So what do you hope to have made Marvelous Minds at that point? What's your long-term, all right, it's not for my kids anymore. What does Rosa do now?
So hard when you're in it to see 10 years down the road. But this is why writing your goals is so important. I used to journal every idea I ever had. I wanted childcare to be as easily accessible as any corner store and church in the city. They are plentiful and they should be easily identified as a safe space for a parent to go and drop their kid off. Hey, sure, you can call it a crisis, but how about before it gets to be a crisis?
Right.
I just need to know that I'm supported. Boom, there's a big M on that building over there. I know they do childcare. I'm walking in, right? And here's my child. I can go and have my peace of mind. I wrote that in my notebook, right? And here we are. That was I started writing in 2013 when he was born. And here we are in 2022. And I have this beautiful young lady named Miss Ari who's starting to build her brand. In my notebook, do you know what it's called? It's called the Nanny Nation.
Ooh, I like that.
Where in the future, we would stop licensing buildings and start licensing people. As long as this space has a licensed childcare provider in it, children can come here.
So kind of like the health department. Like I have to have a serve safe certificate to serve food.
Yes, exactly.
They can
like
license
that.
me. Why can't they license you?
Right? When you go to a public pool or you go to the beach and it says lifeguard on duty, it should say child care attendant on duty. I mean, it's really simple in my mind.
Yeah.
Right? So my journey to where we are now was hit with so many roadblocks. I mean, when I was divorced, I lived with another individual. And then when that relationship ended, I was literally in the middle, like right at the end of getting that house permitted for in-home childcare. Well, guess what? I don't live here anymore. Right? Well, now I got to start the process all over again because they only give you like 90 days to get this done. But they license the home, not the individual, right? So then I had to start all over and start thinking differently. And that's how we got here. So in 10 years from now, I would love to have created more Miss Maries, more Miss Aries, more and more and more and more.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
What about creating more Marvelous Mind Academies? Is this something that you could really transfer to another city? I mean, I don't have children.
Or just more in Rochester.
So I don't know, I don't know what happens in other cities with childcare, but from what I know of you, it's unique. Is this something that if somebody's listening thinks, wow, I wish something like this could happen in my town, is that something you'd be open to?
Of course, 110%. Yeah, because that's part of Marvelous Mind Academy's Nanny Nation. Like, absolutely.
So yeah, you used to work 3 jobs and then you decided to open your own business so you'd only have one. How many do you have now?
15. I have 15 jobs, honey. I'm an accountant.
Toilet cleaner.
I'm a janitor. That's right. I'm a child care provider. Social media marketing director. I'm an HR professional. Oh my God, I'm a web developer.
Yep.
Okay, payroll specialist.
Insurance specialist.
Yes.
Paralegal, grant writer.
Counselor.
Counselor.
Because when you're
Therapist.
therapist, yep, you got it.
For yourself, your kids, your family, your kids
The
are
families,
serving,
exactly.
your employees.
I'm in mood.
Crisis management.
Can you imagine if we paid ourselves all of these salaries?
Ooh, wouldn't that be nice?
That would be incredible.
Yes, it would be. That would be really, really nice. I'm just trying to find somebody who would do it for me.
No, if I want to go down that, I kind of want to add it all up.
Don't do it.
Then I might jump off a bridge.
Yes.
It's like that exercise where you add up like everything that you do in the day and then you're like, well, there's not 72 hours in a day. How am I actually getting this all done? Yeah, don't.
Oh, do you know I recently became a wallpaper expert?
Oh, yay.
I'm in love with wallpaper. I will never paint another surface again in my whole life. Why? Because I didn't have to move furniture. I didn't have to put up painting tape. I didn't have to put down drop cloths. And it was no dry
Was it
time.
the peel and stick?
Yes.
I just bought that. I haven't done it yet. I'm scared.
Ooh, let's do it.
I haven't. It's been sitting in my house
What
for
room we
like
gonna
3
do it?
months. My
What
hallway.
room?
There's an arch and I'm scared.
Oh, let's do it. I'm in love with wallpaper. I'm in love with it. So one of the things I talk about neurodivergent friends, right? So at Marvelous Minds, we do not say no. Like it's just not in our vocabulary. We'll say, instead of this, let's try that. Mm-hmm. We have a little friend who liked to climb. So I was like, well, how do we make it safe for her to climb? And then we have other friends who like to write on walls. Well, I don't tell kids don't write on the wall. It's white. It looks like paper. Yeah. Okay. So how do we make this more inviting for them to write on the wall? So I bought this rainbow wallpaper. It's black and white and it's a whole bunch of rainbows. So it looked like a coloring book all over our walls. Now you can take your color and your marker, your crayons, and you can just scribble in on the little rainbow, and it's okay. But my parents have said to me, like, could you just really, really specify?
That is for here.
This is a Marvelous Mind Academy special. Yeah. This is not a every wall kind of a thing.
Oh, my kids are coming tomorrow. Is it up?
Yes, it's up.
I'm gonna have to have a talk on the way.
It's up.
Monty loves to draw on things.
Yeah.
Problem solving to
the
very end.
Rosa, this has been fantastic.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you
for
it's
doing
been
this.
An honor. Thank you for having me.
And I just love seeing you anytime we can see you. So.
And one more time, how do people find you?
MarvelousMinds.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you got something out of her story. Rosa's incredible.
Check us out on social at Bossy Rock, BOSSYROC. And if you want to join Bossy, you can find us at bossyrock.com/join. And either way, share your problem-solving journey with us and how your passions and your needs affect your business and how you respond to the client's needs as well.
And yeah, professional problem solver is definitely going to be a Bossy t-shirt coming soon.
All right, Bossies, thank you for listening.
Now subscribe, get out there, be bold, be brave, and be the boss. This podcast has been brought to you by Gallery Salon, where beauty and art collide. You can find out more at galleryhair.com.